So quite a few things have happened. I've been just picking away at this over the past couple of days, so I haven't really filmed anything. But I've got the intercooler all mounted up. I made a custom crash bar for this. It only comes out to here so that I can clear the tow hook on this side. So that's all mounted up. Intercooler is in there solid. It's not going anywhere. Its brackets are welded on, all that good stuff. So now what we have to do is actually make the piping, which is going to be a little harder than most of the intercooler stuff that I do. We need to make a hard 90 out of pie cuts, which I've already made the pie cuts up. And then over here, I have to do the same thing, and then it needs to come another 90, so 180 degrees, so that it can come back over and go up in there. Now, along with all that, we have some stuff we have to do up top that's also custom. So, we have all this piping up here. This is everything that we're using for making this. I got everything pretty much all cut. So, one of the things that had to happen was we had to relocate the evap stuff that's usually down under here. So, this has been relocated over to here. I use the OEM bracket in order to do that. So that's out of the way. So now we're going to make a custom crossover pipe. We're going to need to modify the upper radiator support a little bit so that it can receive the larger piping through this little slot. But we'll be able to keep it 3 inches all the way to the throttle body, which is good for flow. We won't have any changes in airspeed. So now it's just a matter of welding everything up. Once everything is welded up and I clamp everything down, I actually should be able to start this thing today. At least that's the hope. Now, it's important, this engine is going to be able to move around a little bit. That's just going to be the nature of it. We're not doing full steel solid mounts, as much as I wish we could. So, we do need some give between the intercooler and the engine. So we are going to use some couplers. I have a mock-up coupler in here right now. So there's going to be a coupler here. There's probably going to be a coupler here and a coupler here. Now, the reason we do that is so that as the engine twists back, there's room for this piping to move and flex a little bit. I'm not going to be putting a bracket on this pipe. I want it to be able to vibrate around. I see a lot of people who are first-time intercooler builders who are doing solid pipes all the way up and around. As great as that is, you need some flex. Now, Vibra Performance has these V-band kind of setups that they have that allow a little bit of movement. They're unfortunately a little bit too expensive for what I'm trying to do. So we're going to go ahead and just incorporate couplers into this design to give it some some movability. I might put a bracket on the throttle body pipe depending on exactly how much wiggle room I'm going to be needing. Alright, so I'm going to fire it up. Everything's plugged in. Before everybody freaks out, I've already cranked it over and not started it. So this is going to be the first time it actually fires up. Exhaust is not connected, motor mounts aren't connected, there's no coolant in it, so I'm going to let it run for a few seconds. Awesome. Alright, so let's go over what's going on here. So we have our intercooler in. This is a 3-inch thick intercooler. Cool little logo on there. So we've got 3 coupler points on this side. It's the longest side, so I wanted that. 1 coupler point here, and then 1 more coupler point at the turbo. So these pipes have room to wiggle around a little bit. They are pretty solid. So when the engine's bolted down, which it's not, shouldn't have any problems. So that's all done. Everything is custom TIG welded together. I do elongate the straight pipe, so it's got 2 pieces welded onto it. This is welded onto it. It is touching ever so slightly right there, so I might take this upper bar off and just fold that in. Our intake is completely done, so I put that port on there, so that's done. Really all that's left to do in the engine bay is I need to run the coolant lines for the turbo, because they're not actually run. I have one over here, but the hose is too big for here, so I got to make an adapter, and then I got to get more hose to connect back there. So that's all that I have to do for that. This Spectra coupler's just one I had laying around. Tomorrow I'm going to go and get an actual nice vibrant one, so that's, you know, legit. So yeah, everything is all hooked up. So under the hood, all that's left to do, like I said, is those coolant lines. And really that's it. Put the rest of it back together. Put the front end back together. And then the next thing we need to tackle is the exhaust system, because as you just heard, the exhaust is not hooked up. It's an open down pipe right now. I do need to make a custom 3-inch exhaust system with a little bit of a rally car flare at the end. Those of you that watch WRX or GRC know what I'm talking about. But damn, that logo looks cool on that. Look at that. So yeah, that's where we're at.